Thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Brian Marcuscio. I'm the CMO here at Sequentur. And before we get started, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you for taking some time to join us today. Once again, we are lucky to have our CEO, CTO, Roman, and CISO, Chris, leading the discussion today. And they'll be walking us through our new advanced security package. They'll be going through each element in a lot of detail today. So please, if you have any questions or want any more information on a specific topic or element as we're going through, please don't hesitate to jump in, ask a question, raise your hand, or you could post your question in the QA or chat room, and we'll answer them as they come in. We just don't want this to be an informative session. We really want it to be engaging and interactive. So please don't be shy and just jump in whenever you have something to say or need some more information, as I mentioned. We will be recording the video, so we'll send the link out tomorrow so you can share with your teams internally. But if you have any other questions afterwards, please don't hesitate to reach out. And with that said, thank you again for joining today, and I'll hand it over to Roman and Chris.
Thank you, Brian. Oh, go ahead, Roman.
So thank you for joining. I'm here mostly as an observer because Chris Capps has a very good handle on what we are going to offer to our customers. With that, Chris, please take it away.
Thank you, Roman. Before I do get started, I would like to introduce you all to Sequentur's new security evangelist, Ashley Meyer. She's going to be operating as security account manager, helping us get all things security in line for our managed clients. She's joining to be a point of contact for you all, but also to observe as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm really looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. All right. As Brian said, thank you all for joining us. We do want to discuss the advanced security package that we have put together. I know security is a hot topic across the board, and it just seems like it's accelerating at a very fast pace, and we want to make sure that we do everything possible to keep up with that pace. We will cover a variety of items in here, so as Brian mentioned, please stop me if you need to ask your questions. Whatever you all need to do, we would like to engage in this conversation, and really I want you to get what you need out of it. First question is, why are we doing this? The main reason is that the cybersecurity world is seeing an increase of attacks across the board. This has happened year over year, and there is no sign of it slowing down or stopping. We are seeing an alarming increase in breach attempts and currently averaging approximately 2 major security incidents per week across the globe. Most of those are resulting from users being duped into approving an illegitimate MFA request. The numbers are sobering, right? So when we see large organizations that have breaches that are, the same things that we worry about in our organizations, we have to wonder, are we doing everything that we can to protect our organization? The increase in incidents emphasizes the critical need for the advanced security toolset. So properly implemented, they will provide a near complete protection against security incidents that could cripple the organization. As a solution, we are offering this new set of tools known as the Advanced Security Package to help secure your businesses against the potential security incidents. Just a quick statistic for you. Just a quick statistic for you. There's a graph on the left-hand side. This comes from Statista. It is a projection of cybercrime in the coming years. So we do have actual data. We do have actual historical data, but you see, following the trend, the cost of cybercrime worldwide is going to increase exponentially. With the dramatic increase in cyber attacks, security measures of the past are no longer sufficient. Traditionally, we could implement, basic password policies and MFA and hope that did it. We could, implement some firewall controls and hope that did it. But we are to the point to where there are so many different attack vectors that you really have to secure every aspect of your business to keep it afloat. To ensure the security and integrity of your business's data, we have developed the package that we're speaking of today, comprehensive suite of solutions that I'm going to discuss in the next slide, designed to provide a heightened protection against modern cyber threats. We will spend a moment on this slide. I will cover each of the different modules that we are going to utilize, the services that we are going to provide, and the tools that we're going to use to provide them. Please, again, I'm going to reiterate here more than ever, if you have any questions, please stop me, please ask the question. This really is the meat and potatoes of the presentation. So ultimately, we have 6 different services that we are offering in the security package, designed to provide a holistic protection for your environment. The first one we have listed is ongoing vulnerability management. Every item that is connected to a network in your environment can present a vulnerability to your environment. It can be used as an entry point into the network. It can be used as a malicious device to produce attacks, right? A jump point for attacks. It can be used as a botnet for attacks on other entities. So everything in your environment that's on the network has the potential to have a vulnerability associated with it. We're offering a vulnerability management service where we identify and report on the vulnerabilities in your environment and provide you the guidance that you need to roadmap the remediations of those vulnerabilities. As a continuous monitoring and assessment tool to identify and mitigate the potential security risks, and we are using the industry standard tenable vulnerability management for this operation. It is not simply, and none of these are simply a resell opportunity. They're all value-added services. My security team will be evaluating the reports, identifying, critical exploitable vulnerabilities, misconfiguration vulnerabilities, and providing you with the guidance that you need to remediate those in your environment. For the second item, the extended detection and response for cloud workspaces. So Microsoft 365 there is the example. It's probably going to be the most prominent usage of this tool, but we also have the ability to monitor Salesforce and Slack and Okta. This service is going to provide advanced threat detection and response capabilities for our teams tailored to your cloud environments. So think about it this way. If you're a managed client with us, which most already are, your endpoints, their security signals, are already ingested into our CIO, right? So our security information and events management system. Our SOC analysts, our security operations center analysts, are evaluating these signals 24/7 to identify any malicious activity that may be happening on your endpoints. This extended detection and response for cloud workspaces extends that visibility and response capabilities to your cloud workspaces. So we are ingesting your security signals from your cloud workspaces into our security operations center. For the third item, we're speaking about zero trust endpoint control. So application control for your endpoints. This operates in an explicit deny fashion. And what I mean by that is if there is not a policy allowing something to run, it is not going to run. It operates at the kernel level, and it does not matter what permissions you have on the machine, the policies take precedence. Implementing zero trust principles to secure endpoints, and it ensures only authenticated and authorized applications and devices can access the network. The tool we're going to use for this particular item is Threat Locker. Mainly, we implement application control and ring fencing. Application control is that zero trust application control, and then the ring fencing extends that by prohibiting applications from calling network services that they do not need to call to operate. The fourth item on there, 3 and 4 are essentially 2 peas in the same pod. The Number 3 is for applications and services processes on your endpoint. Number 4 is zero trust for your network traffic. This service enhances network security by adopting zero trust policies, minimizing the risk of unauthorized access and lateral movement within your network and on your users' endpoints, no matter where they go. This also operates in an explicit deny policy, but it is backed by the Cloudflare Content Delivery Network. So we do curate the policies in the environment to what your needs are, but we also get the benefit of Cloudflare, who handles roughly 20% of the world's internet traffic, and their security indicators, helping to protect your users from browsing malicious websites and getting malicious traffic. The 5th item on here is the dark web monitoring and reporting. If you all have heard about the massive credential, I'm not going to call them a breach, the massive credential releases in the last couple of months, there was the mother of all breaches, and then a couple weeks later we had the billion credential set that was released as well. It is very important to keep an eye on any exposed data that might be associated with your organization, anything that exists out on the dark web. This service proactively monitors the dark web for potential threats and compromised data, provides us with daily, weekly, and monthly reporting. On initial onboarding, we will evaluate with you and go over any findings that we get. And then on an ongoing basis, those reports will be made available as new findings are found out on the dark web. And then number 6 on there is enterprise password management. This has been a big one recently. Many users have systems that they're involved in that not all of you are aware of. They may go out and engage a service and make a credential set that you may lose when they are terminated. The enterprise password management service allows you to securely store and manage all of your passwords in one place, and it allows you to retain positive control on those credential sets upon termination or when they leave. It also helps your organizations enforce strong password policies, so you can kind of standardize around the services. So not just in your Active Directory or your 365 environment, but when they go to make a password for Salesforce, right? You can, by enforcing the use of the Enterprise Password Manager, you can make sure that they're using strong passwords everywhere they operate. It occurred to me that I missed a couple of the products here. So I'm just going to go ahead and run down the numbers and give you the idea of what we are using to facilitate this package. If you have any questions, Brian, I don't know if any have come up. I haven't looked at the screen, but now is a great time for questions. So item number, go ahead, shoot.
I was gonna say no questions yet, but if anybody has anything or needs a little bit more information, don't hesitate to throw a question up in the Q&A or chat section. We'll get to it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so just to recap, ongoing vulnerability management. We are going to provide you reports, identification, and guidance, and we are using the industry standard Tenable vulnerability management. For the extended detection and response, we are going to ingest your cloud security signals into our security operations center so we can analyze, detect, and respond to any events in real time. For this item, we use what is called SaaS alerts, SaaS alerts. For number 3, zero trust endpoint control, so application control. We are going to implement a software that operates an explicit deny that prevents unknown, malicious, etc. packages from running on your endpoints. For this item, we will use ThreatLocker. Something to note about ThreatLocker. A couple of years ago, Kaseya experienced a CryptoLocker event because a malicious package was uploaded to their update supply chain. And then that update got pushed out to a bunch of machines, and the attack happened. ThreatLocker, as far as I'm still aware, was the only documented system that actually stopped that because the malicious DLL was not recognized as part of the policies associated with Kaseya. Number 4, zero trust network control. ThreatLocker, but for your network, right? So explicit deny and protection inside of your network, inside of your endpoints network. For this, we are using an item called Cloudflare Warp. It is backed by the Cloudflare Content Delivery Network. For number 5, dark web monitoring and reporting. So identifying exposed credential sets and PII on the dark web that are associated with your organization, providing you with those reports and remediation guidance. For that item, we are using Dark Web ID by Kaseya. And number 6, enterprise password management. So providing you a central repository to securely manage all of your credentials and retain positive control of those credentials when users leave. And for that item, we are using Keeper. Any questions on this slide before I move on to the next one? All right, long enough to get a drink. Works for me. So how our advanced security package helps. I think I covered that in technical detail in the previous slide, but from a high level, these components work together to create a fortified security posture, allowing your business to operate with confidence in today's dynamic threat landscape. So you get extended 24/7 coverage, you get multi-layers of protection on your network and your devices, and you get your dark web monitoring for exposed credential sets and PII. We're strongly urging our customers to add our new advanced security package to their managed plans. Cybersecurity is no longer what it was, not even 10 or 15 years ago, much less 20 years ago. Definitely need to add additional layers to your environment to assure that you can remain viable for years to come. The plan is currently priced at $40 per user per month. And then for the remainder of July and August, we were running a special 25% discount offer, making it $30 per user per month. As always, we are always here for you. We're available if you need to talk, if you need to discuss anything related to your IT environment or security. I put the contact information up on the board for you. Mine and Roman's is there as well. Ashley's is there on top, so you can add it to your Rolodex. And if we don't have any questions, I will pass it back over to you, Brian.
Thanks, Chris. That was a great job as always. Give it another minute here, see if any last minute questions come in.
Come on, guys, any questions at all? Anybody? Cedric? Cedric, go ahead.
You might be on mute, Cedric.
Got a lot of teams at times,
It's,
right?
yeah, it's saying it won't let him unmute.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cedric, do you want to type the questions in the chat?
Yeah. You see it, Chris?
So questions, will we be able to access any of these items in the Azure portal? Chris?
No, they're not Azure products.
Okay. So I will try to explain, like in more or less layman's terms, of what is why we're doing this. You all seen an incident with CrowdStrike last week, which made them very prominent, considering how many big agencies, airlines, US governments, some hospitals use it. The reason I use it is because this is like a really top of the shelf package that basically, if you have it, you're almost guaranteed to not get hacked, right? Typically, only enterprises get it because they need it, and two, the price point is probably several times higher than our product per endpoint, right? So our customer base is SMB, small to medium business, and we understand that you cannot afford paying, $80 to $100 per endpoint per month to keep them secure. This is why we basically put together an alternate package that allows to do, I won't say guarantee to do the same job, but it basically covers all the same weak areas that majority of the attack vectors come in, and provide additional level of protection to those mechanisms we already have in place, and essentially emulating the behavior of CrowdStrike. Now, we are CrowdStrike reseller. We do have CrowdStrike for ourselves as of recently. So we did have an outage last week on Friday with several endpoints didn't. We are not unbootable. I think one of the computers was dead completely. But if you're interested in CrowdStrike, we can do introduction, show you what it is. But just understand the price point, and it's usually pretty high. This package is relatively affordable compared to CrowdStrike. We're running a special on it. And as some of you guys know, you already have some of the components that we can craft a custom deal for you. And having this type of protection guarantees an additional level of protection to your network, to tools that you're already using, and will help me and Chris and everyone else in Sequentur sleep better at night knowing that you guys are protected. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for attending this webinar.
One more question just came in, Roman.
Shoot.
From Aaron. You see it?
1 second.
Yes, Adam,
Yep.
That's a great question. Chris, did you want to take this one?
Yeah, so the question is, would it be feasible to assume that we would really only need this on endpoint users that have VPN and more of our sort of in-office users? This would not be necessary for a user that just uses email, etc. I would disagree, because part of this is monitoring the 365 security signals. So if your user just has his email, that's part of your 365 security signals. And even if they just have email, they can be compromised and used as a launch point for phishing attacks internally, because they're a trusted email internally. I would caution you and anyone against trying to afford active accounts and users less security just because of their position. Now, sure, if they don't have an endpoint, you don't need endpoint protection. But generally speaking, if they're an active user and if they have an email, they're in 365, they present a threat.
Okay, with that, absolutely, I agree with Chris 100%. At the same time, a certain subset of your users obviously might stay a target for hackers. Your C-level, your finance, and your HR, right? Finance especially, because when they look for something to hit, because they don't hack it because of altruistic reasons, they hack it to get money. They will try to find a way to get the into your financials to initiate like a illicit wire or something. And after this, failing to do this, they're going to crypto your environment if they can. So obviously, you guys need to pay closer attention to your finance users, C-level, HR users, with special attention being given to new hires, because this is the people that usually new on the job. They don't know who anyone else. They usually take orders from whoever gives it to them, and they have special APIs that harvest LinkedIn for new employees, and maybe other database software like ZoomInfo, and like, oh, let me hit up new employees. It's sequential. People that with us recently, probably most of them experienced a call from Roman to please buy me Amazon gift cards. One person actually did that.
We had another question come in, Roman.
Okay.
So are all of these services, such as EDR and Zero Trust, compatible with the Mac clients? So your existing EDR under your managed contract, 100%. So we're talking about the extended detection and response for cloud workspace. That exists in the cloud, so it's not endpoint specific. For the Cloudflare Warp, I would have to confirm, but ThreatLocker does have a Mac install, yes.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain Cloudflare Work is not compatible. I'm like nearly 100% certain. But we can verify. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Hopefully we piqued your interest enough. So if you guys want, please reach out to Chris, myself, or your account executive. Some of them are on this call to do a one-on-one demo to see how to be a good solution for you. Maybe not even if it's something right now, but for the future budget, because security is only going to get worse, and we're just trying to protect our customers the best we can. With that, thank you so much. Brian, back over to you.
Yep, that's it. Thank you guys for attending. As I mentioned earlier, this is being recorded, so I will get the link out to all of you so you could share internally. If you have any other questions come up later today or in the next couple of days or week, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. And thanks for taking some time today. Oh, did another question just come in? Or...
Yep. Thank you all.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
it, guys. Thank you, guys.